So section 4.3, triangle congruence, we're going to learn two different theorems or postulates that helps us to fill in reasons at the end of a proof. So then you'll have four, and that's the only four that we're learning. So far we have side, 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 and side, angle, side. And today we're going to talk about two others, which are angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. So on the first one, postulate 4.3, copy this into your postulates. You can either do just the abbreviation or the words, whatever you want to do, and then just do the words on the side. The words tell you the order that you're going to see things being the same in the triangle, and they all have to be connected, and I'll show you that again here in a minute. So this one says, if two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the included side of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So let's look at the pictures so we can see kind of how this one is laid out. So when I look at the pictures, I only look at one at a time, and it doesn't matter which one you pick, but when you're looking at it, you have this angle right here connected to this side right here, connected to that angle right there. So when they do those letters, angle, side, angle, they all have to be connected. You cannot jump around the triangle. You can't go wherever you want. They are connected in that order. So angle is first, then it's the side, then it's the angle. So we talked about the included angle the other day, and remember the included angle looks like this. So here's a side, and it's the angle in the middle. So this one is the opposite, where you have the two angles, and the side that's included is between them. So it's the same concept, it's just the opposite order. So just make sure you remember that they have to be connected in the order that the letters say. So here's a problem using angle, side, angle. So which two triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle? And then they want us to explain. So the first thing I want you to look at is each individual triangle. Is it angle, side, angle? So how about this one? Is that angle, side, angle? Yep. So this one is an option. How about this one? Angle, side, angle? Yep, that's an option. How about this one? No. So I'm going to cross this one out. So then we look at, are the things in the order that they are supposed to be in? Usually if it fits angle, side, angle, it works. So notice how we could rotate that top one onto the bottom one and they would look exactly the same. Usually for these, it's harder to figure out if they are switched or not, but if you can rotate it, reflect it, that kind of thing, it's good. So we're going to say yes. We're going to give a triangle congruent statement. I'm going to start with the one on the left. I'm going to say SUV is congruent to. Now I need to pick the order of the letters in the same order. So I chose the first letter being the one that isn't marked. So I need to find that one over here, which is N. Then I went to the one that is a single hash mark. So I'm going to go this way and I'm going to say E. And then O would be at the end. So that's exactly how I do it. So wherever you start with the same letter in the other triangle and write them down the same way. And if you need to give reasons, you would say angle U congruent to angle E, UV congruent to EO, and angle V congruent to angle O. I looked at more of this once I wrote it down than the pictures, but you can look at the pictures because they are marked. So I looked at U and E, the single hash marks. I looked at the sides that were singly done, but you have to be careful of the order. When I said UV, I went from single hash mark to double on the angles, so I need to go EO instead of OE. Remember also that if you have the letters switched, it's not all wrong, it's only partially wrong. Yep.
How would you prove that UV is congruent to EO?
This one isn't a proof. You wouldn't be able to do that here because they haven't given you anything to say that they are. They're marked, so we can just write them down. In a proof, they're not necessarily all marked, so then you have to figure out how they're the same. Okay, so here, this isn't a proof, it's just giving reasons, and this is all you'd have to give on this one. Okay, so we had angle, side, angle, we showed which ones were the same. If there happened to be one where nothing matched up, you'd just say not congruent by angle, side, angle. You know, no, the sides aren't the same or the angles aren't the same or whatever, but usually if they give you a question like this, there is a pair. So you'll hunt for the ones that match. Okay, which two triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle? This is a got it question. So let's first look for the angle, side, angle. So is the first one angle, side, angle? Yes, so I'm going to put angle, side, angle underneath it instead of making a big mess. Is the second one angle, side, angle? No, because this one needs to be right there, correct? So this one is a no. How about the last one? Yes, so now we just write down which angles are the same, which sides are the same, and then we're done. So these are your two. I'm going to say yes, triangle, and I'm going to go no mark, single mark, double mark for angles. OGH. Which one matches that? Where do I start with on that second triangle over there? TCA is correct. I went no markings, single marking, double marking, so TCA. And then once you get that written, if you're very confident that that's what it is, you can go by the letters. If you're not super confident that you got the letters in the right order, go by the picture. So here I'm going to say angle G congruent to angle C. When you do that, make sure you're starting with the same triangle every time. So don't say angle G is congruent to angle C and then angle A is congruent to angle H and go backwards. You have to start with the same triangle every time. So I'm going to go angle H, and it doesn't matter if you put the side or the angle first as long as you list them both. Angle H congruent to angle A. Oops, I wrote the wrong one on this first one. This should be a C. And if I say GH, what letter order do I need on the right? CA is correct. So I went from single hash mark to double when I wrote those. Okay, so here's a couple of proofs. Members of a teen organization are building a mini golf course at your town's youth center. The design plan calls for the first hole to have 2 congruent triangular bumpers. Prove that the bumpers on the first hole meet the conditions of the plan. This is going to be 3 steps. So when you're looking at it, the things that are marked, and they might be hard to see from where you are, angle D is congruent to angle A. This side right here, the same, and a right angle right here. Do we have angle, side, angle already? We pretty much do. So here's the proof. We want to prove they're the same. We have A and D the same. We have B and E are right angles, so we have to say one more thing for that, and we have the included side. So I'm going to put those in a proof. I don't have the boxes, so I'm just going to write them. Okay, I write too big to put them all in there, so I'm just going to be lazy right now and do that. So the only thing we have an angle the same and a side the same. This one right here, does that say angle B is congruent to angle E yet? No, it says though that they're right angles. Do we know that all right angles are the same? Then we can say that they're congruent. So we have to do one thing with this one. So if they don't say this is congruent to that, we don't know for sure yet, and that's what you'd have to do. So in the second line, I would say angle B is congruent to angle E. And we had a theorem a long time ago that said all right angles are congruent. And you could say the number too if you went and found it, but usually the ones you use a lot, you remember the words. So as long as you're close, you're good. Now, do we have two congruent angles with the side in between? We do. So you're going to say triangle. Oops. I think I have it on pause. There we go. Triangle.